ఎందరో మహానుభావులు అందరికీ వందనములు అంటారు త్యాగరాజస్వామి. సంగీతం ఒక మహాసముద్రం. ఆ సముద్రాన్ని ఔపోసన పట్టిన మహానుభావులు ఎందరో. సంగీత త్రిమూర్తులైన త్యాగరాజు, ముత్తుస్వామి దీక్షితార్, శ్యామశాస్త్రులే కాక అన్నమయ్య, రామదాసు మొదలైన వాగ్గేయకారులు మనకందించిన కీర్తనలపై ఎంతో కృషి చేసి సంగీత విద్యలో ఆరితేరిన ప్రముఖులు ఎందరో ఉన్నారు. దొరకునా ఇటువంటి సేవని భావిస్తూ సంగీత సరస్వతి సేవలో జీవిత పరమార్థాన్ని తెలుసుకున్న మహానుభావులను పరిచయం చేసే కార్యక్రమమే ఎందరో మహానుభావులు.
దేశ విదేశాలలో ప్రఖ్యాతిగాంచిన ప్రముఖ సంతూర్ విద్వాంసులు పండిట్ శివకుమార్ శర్మ. పద్మశ్రీలు, పద్మ విభూషణ్లు ప్రేక్షకుల ఆనందం కంటే ఎక్కువ కాదు అంటూ పెద్దలెదుట చెప్పుకునే నిగర్వి పండిట్ శివకుమార్ శర్మ. వారి అనుభవాల పరంపర నేటి ఎందరో మహానుభావులలో వారి మాటల్లోనే విందాం.
I was born in Jammu, the winter capital of our state, Jammu and Kashmir. My father's name was Pandit Uma Dutt Sharma, was a vocalist. In Hindustani style, we have got different gharanas, traditions, schools of music. And he had learned from legendary Banaras Gharana vocalist Pandit Badiram Das ji. So my father was a performing vocalist, but he was equally well versed in playing tabla, harmonium and israj, that dilruba, board instrument. So when I was 5 years old, he started teaching me vocal and tabla both. So for next 7-8 years, I was learning that. And my mother's name was Kesar Devi. Mother was not a musician, but she used to sing very beautifully the folk songs. So in my childhood, I was learning vocal music, I was learning tabla, I was exposed to the greatest inspiration for a musician, the nature, surroundings of Jammu and Kashmir. It is a 100-stringed instrument. There is no other instrument in our Indian classical music having so many strings, 100 strings, and all the strings are played. And it is a very unique instrument.
ఋగ్వేద కాలం నాటి అత్యంత ప్రాచీనమైన శతతంత్రి వీణను సంతూర్గా మలచి కాశ్మీరీ జానపద సంగీతాన్ని హిందుస్థానీ సంగీతంగా అందరికీ అందించిన మహానుభావులు పండిట్ శివకుమార్ శర్మ.
We have got different kind of stringed instruments. There are one like veena, which are plucked, or violin or sarangi, which are played with the bow. Two types of stringed instruments are there. But this is a unique instrument. In the ancient times, this instrument was called Shata Tantri Veena. Mention of Shata Tantri Veena in Rigveda. So this is such an ancient instrument. Later on, with the Persian influence in our country and Sufi influence in Kashmir, this instrument was being used in Sufi music in Kashmir. It is not a folk instrument. Normally we say it is a folk instrument. Kashmiri folk music is different. This instrument is still used in the valley of Kashmir in Sufi singing as an accompaniment. So this is the history. My father was the in charge of music section of Radio Jammu. And for few years, we had two radio stations, one in Jammu, one in Srinagar. He was transferred to Radio Srinagar for a few years. And he saw this instrument being used there. And he got this idea, why not introduce classical Hindustani music on this? Like Ustad Bismillah Khan Sahab brought Shehnai to Hindustani classical music. It was there for centuries in folk music and different genres of music. So this was my father's idea. So he did the initial research, how to play a rag, how to tune it according to the rag. And when I think I was about 13 years old, he started teaching me santoor. And by that time, I was singing and I was playing tabla. As a child artist, I was broadcasting from radio. So when I started learning santoor, I was fortunate that I had the background of melody as well as rhythm both. 1955, I was invited to perform in a big festival in Mumbai. It was called Swami Haridas Sangeet Sammelan. And how I was sent there, Dr. Karan Singh, who was the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, he is a disciple of my father. He has learned vocal from my father. So he proposed my name to this organizer in Mumbai that I will send you a musician who plays an instrument which nobody has seen. So that was my first exposure on a wider range on national level, where all the great musicians of Hindustani music were there, like Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, Bismillah Khan Sahab, Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab, Kesar Bhai Kerkar, Mogu Bhai Kurdikar, Pandit Omkar Nath Thakur ji, you name, and those people were there. And Ustad Ahmad Jan Tharekwa tabla, Pandit Anokhela ji tabla, Pandit Shamta Prasad ji tabla, all these musicians, Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab, and I also performed there. That was the first, and from there onwards, a new journey started. Because that time, I was playing the same instrument which was used in the valley of Kashmir for Sufi music. I had not modified it. And it had certain limitations. Although there were 100 strings, but one could not play all the ragas. You could not get Komal and Tivra swaras. So there were limitations. There were limitations of range also. The highest note one could get was Tar, Saptak, Gandhar, not beyond that. There are so many various limitations, tonal quality. So what happened? Musicians and music critics, they were not convinced. They criticized me. They said this instrument is not fit for classical music. And for laymen, it was a novelty. They said, no, this sounds good, this is something different. Then for next 12 years or 15 years, it was a great struggle. I was working to modify the instrument, because my father would always say, he was a very spiritual man. When I would go to him and tell him, people are criticizing me, he would say, you have no idea. One day will come when your name will become synonymous with santoor. You have to keep playing this. So I started experimenting. So I thought, if I have to establish this instrument, I must give it its own distinct character, which is different from other string instruments. And that should be different tonal quality, different playing technique, and so many other factors. So for next 10-12 years, I was working on that. I was experimenting, and gradually people started changing their opinion. There used to be some senior musicians who initially would suggest, you are a very intelligent musician, you have got very good training, but you have chosen a wrong instrument, leave it. And still there is time, you pick up sitar or sarod, you can become very popular. But that kind of reaction would prompt me to work very seriously and try to create its own unique character. So after from 55 onwards, by middle of 60s, same musicians, senior musicians, started telling me, don't leave it now, now that is happening. And the film was produced and directed by Yash Chopra. The name of the film was Silsila. It had Amitabh Bachchan, Rekha, Jaya Bachchan, Shashi Kapoor, Sanjeev Kumar. It was a big star-cast film. And that was our first movie along with Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia.
శాస్త్రీయ సంగీతమే కాక సినీ సంగీతంలో కూడా తనదైన ప్రతిభను చాటుకున్న మహనీయులు, పద్మశ్రీలు, పద్మ విభూషణ్లు ప్రేక్షకుల ఆనందం కంటే ఎక్కువ కాదు అంటూ పెద్దలెదుట చెప్పుకునే నిగర్వి పండిట్ శివకుమార్ శర్మ.
And our name comes as music directors Shiv Hari. And before that, here I would like to mention how my collaboration with Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia ji started. We had recorded one album in 1971 in Sweden, Jugalbandi. That was our first album together. And later on, that album was released by HMV in India also. Then in 1967, we did one more thematic music which is called Call of the Valley. That was with me, Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia, and Pandit Brij Bhushan Kabra, who introduced classical music on slide guitar. Three of us. So I and Hariji had collaborated in classical music, and we were very close friends right from 60s. So Yash Chopra ji offered his film to both of us. So that was our first film. Then later on we composed for 7-8 films. And some of the hit movies was Silsila, again Yash Chopra. Then Chandni was another film with Sri Devi and Rishi Kapoor. And that was also a super hit film directed by Yash Chopra ji. Then Lamhe was another film in which Sri Devi was there with Anil Kapoor. That was again our music. Then there was another film, Dar, in which Shah Rukh Khan was noticed as a great actor. That was a big film for him. And that again had our music, myself and Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia. So we tried some music direction also. But one thing was very clear. People would offer us so many films. Now also we get offers. But we were very clear that we won't leave classical music for film music. Once I was playing in Calcutta. There was a seminar happening there. And that evening, Girija Devi ji, another very famous vocalist from Hindustani music, she sang. And the next item I was playing, and Ustad Zakir Hussain was accompanying me on the tabla. He has played the most with me around the world. And there was a large audience of about 3,000. But most important was, there were so many musicians. That day I played one very unusual rhythmic cycle of 11 beats. And while doing the improvisation, in 11 beats, I tried 16 beats. In the cycle when 11 beats are completed, I was playing 16 beats in that cycle. So Balachandra ji was very happy with that. And next morning, for quite some time we were discussing that. This is a very great thing that you get appreciation from Vidwan musicians. Audience is there, they also appreciate and love your music. But when something comes out from such great musicians, that is very, very inspiring. Another incident I would like to mention, it was in Mumbai. Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab and Ustad Bismillah Khan Sahab, Shehnai player, were playing a Jugal Bandi. During the intermission, we all musicians were sitting together. And suddenly Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab said, I want to tell you people one thing today. He said, you see, all of us are musicians and we have worked. But these two musicians, Ustad Bismillah Khan and Shiv Kumar Sharma, their place is different from all other musicians. He said, why? I will tell you. He said, we have been playing instruments which have been there for generations. Or there are vocalists, they have been singing, their generations have been singing. But these two instruments were never there in classical music. These musicians brought them, so I consider them, their place is very special. And for me, this statement of Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab is bigger than my honor of Padma Vibhushan, I feel. So these are few incidents which came to my mind. I got Padma Shri, I got Padma Vibhushan, I got doctorate from Indira Gandhi Open University, I got doctorate from my hometown Jammu University, citizenship of Baltimore from America, various other awards. And I thank all of them. I got another award in Bangalore, where that time the President Dr. Kalam was there, and I was honored by this Chaudhaya Memorial Institute. Chaudhaya Memorial Award, various awards. But I think the biggest award is my audience, my listeners. And when sometimes I'm traveling somewhere and somebody comes and tells me, some lady or some person, sometimes very famous people, sometimes unknown people, they come to me and they tell me, we had been in great mental stress, problems in our life. And I used to listen to that particular recording of yours and I came out of this. Or sometimes I come across some people who tell me that they were cured of certain health problems by listening to my music. Or sometimes, some people, after I finish my concert, young people, college students, or old people, they come to me, they want to speak, but they cannot speak, there are tears in their eyes. I think this is the biggest award. And I pray to God that this thought should always remain with me. I should always keep on thinking and knowing where I could not do my best and how I should be able to do it. Although I have been playing for more than 50 years, but still after every concert, I feel something was missing from my side. I should have done it this way. So I pray to God that keep giving me that insight. And again, I would like to repeat, I am just a medium. This instrument was given to me by my Guruji, and God helped me to do whatever I have done. And I have taught so many students, and my son Rahul Sharma, I would like to mention, my father must be, wherever he is, very happy that he gave me this instrument. Same rag has got different names. We call Bhupali, here it is called Mohanam. We call Malkons, here in the Carnatic it is called Hindolam. So sometimes same rag has got different names. And music, Shruti is also same. And now what is happening, many of the Carnatic ragas have become popular with the Hindustani musicians. For example, Dansa Dhwani, which is originally from the Carnatic music, but now it is hard to say because it is become a part and parcel of Hindustani music. Ragas like Vachaspati, I play Charukeshi, I play many other ragas, so which are from the south. So this interaction is also going. But the expression is different. Music, same 7 swaras are there, Komal Tivra are there, Shrutis are there, but the expression is different. In our music, for example, in instrumental music, we always start with alap. In Carnatic music, if I am correct, every time, every rag is not started with alapam, tanam, pallavi. Kirtis are played or sung. So in our instrumental music, it is a must. We start with alap. Alap, jod, jala. 3 stages like alapam, tanam, pallavi. So these are the similarities, but the expression is different. In vocal music also, expression of Hindustani music, the treatment, we start with a very slow alap composition. We call it khayal, and which will be in a very, very slow tempo. And there will not be so many intricacies of rhythm. In the Carnatic system, rhythm play is very, very intricate, the way it is used. So sometimes the focus is more on rhythm. And in Khayal singing, the focus is more on the melody and elaboration of that. And sometimes in the faster Khayal, there is play of rhythm also. But in Carnatic system, rhythm is very, very intricate. And then there are similarities also. We have got Teen Tal or Kahrwa, which is similar to Adi Talam. Then I think we have got Rupak, which is 7 beats. Here Rupak is 6 beats, which we have got Dadra. So there are similarities also and different expressions also. Both are great traditions. I fully support it and congratulations.